I was never scared of the dark. As a kid, I slept with my door shut, my windows covered, my room pitch black. The dark was safe, silent, empty. Until one night, it wasn't. It started with a small itch on my ankle. Half asleep, I scratched it and felt something thin and rough, like fishing line. Confused, I sat up and turned on the lamp. A long, black thread was wrapped around my ankle, disappearing under the bed. My heart pounded. I pulled at it. It didn't budge. It felt anchored. I stood and reached under the bed, feeling around. My fingers brushed against more of the threads, dozens of them, maybe hundreds, stretched tight, woven together like a web. I pulled harder. The threads moved. They weren't stuck. They were holding something. Something pulled back. I yanked my hand away, my breath shallow. The threads shifted slightly like they were breathing. Then I saw them start to move, slowly at first, then faster, crawling up the bedposts, slithering onto the mattress. I scrambled back, but they were already wrapping around my wrists, my legs, tightening. I tried to scream, but the threads coiled around my neck. They weren't just strings, they were alive. The pressure built as they squeezed my skin, cutting off my air, digging into my flesh. I kicked and thrashed, but they held firm. My vision blurred. I thought I was going to pass out, but just as suddenly as they had grabbed me, they let go. I gasped, coughing, scrambling off the bed and turning on every light in the room. The threads were gone. My sheets were normal. My skin was unmarked. My body trembled, my throat raw, but nothing was there. For a moment, I convinced myself it was a nightmare. But as I sat on the floor, trying to calm my breathing, I glanced down at my ankle. A single black thread was still there, slowly disappearing beneath my skin. I didn't sleep after that. Every night I felt the phantom itch, the strange pull inside me. I checked my skin constantly, but there was nothing until one morning I saw it. A small dark line beneath the surface running up my leg. It wasn't a vein. It wasn't a bruise. It was moving. I went to a doctor. He laughed, said it was stress, maybe my imagination, but I knew. I felt it. The way it coiled and stretched beneath my flesh, like it was growing, like it was waiting. Days passed. I barely ate. I barely slept. The lines spread, thin black threads curling under my skin, reaching toward my chest, my neck. I tried cutting one out, but there was nothing to pull. It wasn't on my skin. It was inside me. And then one night I woke up unable to move. I lay in bed, frozen, my body stiff, my breath shallow. The pressure in my limbs was unbearable, like something was pulling me from the inside. My fingers twitched against my will. My legs jerked. I wasn't controlling them. The threads were. I felt them tighten around my bones, weaving through my muscles, making me sit up, making me stand. My body wasn't mine anymore. My hands reached for my face, my fingers digging into my skin. I tried to scream, but my mouth wouldn't open. I wasn't trapped in my body, I was being controlled. And then as suddenly as it started, it stopped. I collapsed onto the floor, gasping, my limbs shaking. The threads were gone. My body was mine again. But I knew the truth now. They weren't gone. They were inside me, and they were waiting to take over again.